consider this very, very seriously. It's not another tower in Coal Town or Coal Harbor. And look at the impact on the scale, character of the neighborhood. I'm going to talk about the computer generation. Specifically, I've produced a lot of Google Earth images, and the applicant has actually used computer imagery in their reports, prominently showing this rendering of a night scene similar to the day scene, just a little bit higher in the open house in their literatures, in the staff, in the reports that are up on the website. And there are two types of images. There's the combination of a photograph and a computer model and a purely synthetic computer image. This is actually from the first proposal on July 26, where I guess the applicant had a vision of glass towers throughout Mount Pleasant. That's the last revised proposal here. So I'm going to go very quickly. I pointed out that the staff report contained this following image, and I'm going to speak to it shortly. I'll provide a much more detailed response to what staff had to say here. But I will point out that this is what I got in the image, and this was purported to be a photograph there with an inserted model. And I sent this to staff, but the most important thing in a calibration of a synthetic computer-generated image to a viewpoint in the real world is the horizon line. That's what you have to go by. And based on the horizon line, you can see that the stela at Kingsway and 12th is right there. It's above the horizon, 90.07 meters above the sea level, and the Rize Tower is 108.53, so it's 356 feet. So in this image, this obviously has to be above the horizon if we assume that this photograph is correct and it's a real photograph. Now, what staff has done is they've created a computer model. They've inserted it here, but have a look at these images. Now, are they the same image? Look at the clouds. Compare the clouds. Compare where the horizon is here with the stela and there. So here, stela is above the horizon. Here, it's below. Look at the Lee building. Look at the top of that. Look at the perspective. This is not the same image. There. So staff have should have done one of two things. Either they should have said that we're going to compare it to this image here, or we're not going to get another image and try to calibrate to that and take a part of a fisheye image, crop that, and look at that. Now, if this is the original image and it's been tampered with, so you can compare this for yourself, but you can see the clouds don't match, the horizon doesn't match, and the Lee building doesn't match here. I would have said that if staff had realized that the applicant had used this photograph as a starting point, then they should have said, full stop here, we've got an image that's been tampered with and played with, and then contact me, because I have not been contacted by staff during this process at all. I asked for feedback several times. I got a couple of emails in response. No information was shared. Now, what I did is another investigation in terms of scale. I scaled my image so it actually matched the one in the staff report here. And there are different levels of vertical compression here. And that's the image without any vertical compression. So the Broadway frontage would have to be increased by about 53%, the tower by 37%, and the Watson Street area by 49%. So either the vertical compression would be similar in all three areas, but not different. So, I think there are some serious issues here with the ethics of visualization and with what staff was presented. And in the record time I raised a couple of red flags here to staff. Staff were actually kind enough to confirm my computer image. I got this one email back. My model is in pink. You can see the appurtenances and some other details that staff have. The stairwells there, appurtenances there. So and they missed the colonnade there. So I built a more detailed model, but I think we're in the same ballpark. Staff are missing these appurtenances at the top of the building. But I don't want to get sidetracked here. To match photograph, you have distant views, like the North Shore Mountains, and you calibrate it. It's much easier if you have the starting position for your photograph. And you can go from there. Here I've got the Scotia Tower, a couple of buildings downtown, North Shore. Take that away, and I'll show the image there. Here's a view from 12th and Kingsway.
So you're at your 5 minutes. You can wrap up very
Sure,
quickly.
and I'd like to go into a lot more detail here. and talk about the importance of the street level view, because staff have not looked at calibration here. They have not looked at providing the same data so we can replicate their work with the wireframe outline. So that's very important there. And the 3D computer model at street level is key, and I think this is where you really get to see what this proposal means on street level on Broadway for the average person who actually lives in the area and uses the area.
Okay, and you can provide that to council.
Yeah, and I'd like to be put in a request to be put to the end of the speakers list as well as the second speaker.
So, Councillor Jang,